for example, the first one,
Hmm.
when management, for example, the global multinationals, right? They try to emphasize they need to upgrade their, for example, India operation or any territory.
Hmm.
But at the same time, the selection of the team is very important. For example, if I give let's say the cricketing example, if you have chosen the wrong people in the team,
Hmm.
then even if you try to coach them, you will not get the optimum output.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the coaching works beautifully when you also have the right talent,
Hmm.
right? So you also need to, not everybody is coachable also,
Right.
right? And there are different type of coaching scenario, but and especially if somebody is a senior enough, right? If the organization has hired not so right person at the top,
Leadership
let's
level.
say India at a regional sales head position, and if that person itself does a pretty old way of approaching customers,
Hmm.
right? I mean, not using technology, not using consultative selling approach, using
Hmm.
uh, immediately jumping to the price. Uh, I mean, trying to do some of the under the table kind of activities.
Hmm.
Uh, then even if that person, because that person typically also would recruit people who would be like him or her.
Hmm.
So the key part is for coaching to work. Also, the organization needs to have hired the right sales leader also.
Correct.
Looking at value consciousness, right? तो उनका ये था,
Hmm.
दो चीज था कि ओके लेट्स गो डीपर.
हाँ मतलब
सो
आप
द
सर वो
कस्टमर,
थोड़ा इंग्लिश में ही बोल दो.
हाँ. So the customer, obviously, this is a when I spoke to them, there's a company which has been there, right? I mean, the company which has been more than 25, 30-year-old company,
Hmm.
and they have more than 100 member sales team, and they realized that they've got a unique problem. Their
Hmm.
problem was the people who were older in the system. They were able to sell, they were able to stick to the company,
Hmm.
but people who are younger in the company, not necessarily experienced, overall experience, but if somebody,
Hmm.
even if with more than 10, 15 years of work experience, when they join this company, their attrition was high. Okay, and attrition was not predominantly because of the culture of the company or the HR process.
Hmm.
They realized the newer guys were struggling to hit the target. The newer guys were struggling to talk the value proposition. The newer guys were coming under a lot of pressure in terms of price points also.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, these are the same guys who claim to have done it well in their earlier companies.
Hmm.
But when we went deeper, we realized the older guys obviously were selling and are typically working with predominantly existing set of customers, whereas
Oh,
new
okay.
colleagues were given newer set of clients. Right, the
Hmm.
existing set of customers, the credibility was established. The rate card also was more or less accepted, but newer customers obviously had a lot of reluctance also, resistance also. At the same
Hmm.
time, the newer customers would keep comparing them with other local competitors, then global competitors, those kind of scenario.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So during the conversation, they realized that even if with newer colleagues, ideally they should give them few of the existing customers to have the
Hmm.
level playing field.
Hmm.
So that was one scenario.
Hmm.
Second, yeah, I think now value consciousness. See, I've seen a lot of customers use this language, right? They want their sales guys to have a value conversation, value consciousness, consultative selling, strategic selling conversation with their customers.
Hmm.
Now, there are multiple scenarios. When you go deeper, you also need to be clear. The leaders need to be clear. Have they hired right? or have they
Hmm.
hired the right people? For example, if they are hiring very basic qualification, very average education, then it would be difficult for them to go to that level. At the same
Hmm.
time, value conversation or consciousness means sales guy should know, right? Who's the customer touch point? What is the customer's need behind the need? What are the individual customer contacts, business motivators, personal motivators? The sales guy, by default, should know their product, service, solution very well. The product knowledge, or I mean, technical knowledge or a domain knowledge is hygiene.
Hmm.
For a leader to aspire to have his or her sales team to have value conversation, uh, first of all, should ensure that the team is able to know their product knowledge pretty well. So that is
Right.
hygiene.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then they should have a deeper conversation, that they should know who all are the different decision influencers, what is their typical priorities of those different decision influencers, what are their motivators, what could be the need behind the need, and they should be in a position to connect their product, service, solution to the customer's need behind the need and those decision influencers, motivators, personal or the business motivators.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's a
Hmm.
journey, right? I mean, people, the sales guy need to be trained to ask insightful questions. The sales guy need to be enabled to have a very holistic way of meeting preparation before important meetings, before senior level meetings.
Hmm.
Then only this value conversation happens. The sales guy need to be trained to understand ROI as a concept,
Hmm.
or return on sales as a concept, and they should be, I would say, I've seen a lot of sales guys, right? They're pretty bad in their mathematics, especially arithmetic, which is a
Hmm.
school level arithmetics, and typically a great sales guy who's also his customer like a whiteboarding activity. Any organization to have their team go from transactional selling to value selling, and they should be prepared also for a
Hmm.
long, I mean, I would say some sort of journey, enablement journey. I don't think
Hmm.
that one training program. One training program will typically act like a band-aid,
Hmm.
yeah, and not. I mean, it not necessarily it will stick. Obviously,
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
best will become better, but rest might go back to original way of doing things.
Correct.
Then you don't need. Okay, let's make an attempt.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
So okay, let's understand uh, meeting preparation as a culture or as a competency. See, I come from that school of thought that everything in sales is important, but not necessarily everything is important at the same time.
Hmm.
Right? I think in cricketing terms, I believe the great batsman is always a student of cricket, right? And he, over a period of time, will keep sharpening his different shots. Okay, and he
Hmm.
will keep accumulating different shots in his arsenal.
Hmm.
Similar way, the great sales professional is a student of sales and student of entire customer engagement process.
Hmm.
Now there are two kind of B2B scenario, right? One is B2B transactional selling, and second is B2B complex selling. So what is the difference? B2B transactional selling, that means predominantly you are selling to MSME, SMEs of the world, predominantly MSMEs of the world. B2B
Hmm.
complex selling, when it is a longer sales cycle, multiple customer touch points get involved, there are multiple decision influencers, average deal value is high, there's a political equation at the customer end, there's
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
buying process, right? Now, uh, now meeting preparation as a culture, I feel generally it helps, but it helps significantly to all the sales pros who are in B2B complex selling.
Hmm.
It may not help to people who are in B2B transactional selling.
Hmm.
Okay, but especially those who are in those long sales cycle selling, higher deal value selling,
Hmm.
Meeting preparation is extremely critical because that will decide with how good or bad or average way the sales guy will conduct the meeting. Whether the sales guy will remain stuck at procurement level or at a junior customer contact level. Uh,
Hmm.
so a lot of time the symptom is where leader feels that my team is stuck at the procurement level. My team predominantly sells on price. My team leaves a lot of margin on the table. So these are all symptoms, right? But if you
Hmm. Hmm.
go deeper and let's try to diagnose what are the causes. One of the key causes could be that sales team is not preparing holistically for
Hmm.
those client meetings. Because personally, I feel the great sales guys, the way they prepare, that with their every client meeting, every conversation, be it virtual, be it telephonic, be it in-person meeting, or be it even an email conversation, with every interaction, their credibility keeps going up in their customer's mind.
Hmm.
And predominantly, it happens through meeting preparation. Now, I understand that over a period of time, right? Sales guys keep acquiring experience and they'll become pretty good also, right? So there
Hmm.
might be many meetings, even if they are not holistically, they'll still be able to manage. But over, I would say the key part is when you are meeting important customer touch points, important opportunities, senior touch points, strategic product. Go absolutely prepared for meetings. You should know what are the uh, I mean, you should understand the customer's world really well. Obviously, I mean, there's a full methodology, I would say the process we have created, which is an executable process. But yeah, this is where the meeting preparation plays a very, very important role. So I would say two competencies are very neglected, but that make a huge impact for B2B complex selling. One is
Hmm.
meeting preparation as a process, as a culture, and second is follow up as a competency
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
those B2B complex selling
Oh,
sales
yeah.
professionals.